It's day one of boot camp for our apprentices at Upper Nisbet Farm. The first of 5 days in which they'll be set a series of farming challenges to see if they've got what it takes to build a career in farming in the 21st century. Let's see what judges Carl and Robert have in store for them today.
Good morning, apprentices. Welcome to day one of boot camp. Today we're focusing on arable farming. We're here in a field of spring barley and we're going to be harvesting some of the barley using this magnificent Massey Ferguson Ideal 8T combine, but making use of some smart technology to help you make your decisions. Data and using data to make smarter decisions on farm is becoming more and more important in all areas of farming, but particularly arable farming. So we're going to be making use of Bayer's field view technology to take in data from satellites and from a drone to look at the crop, and then we're going to expect you to decide which areas of field you're going to harvest.
I am looking for tonnes per hectare. So I'm expecting one team to pick a part of this field that is going to yield the most. So very best of luck.
Now don't worry, you're not on your own. To help you, we've got two experts. So on my immediate right, we've got Max from Bayer, who's an expert on their field view technology. And next to him is Richard from Massey Ferguson, who knows how this magnificent machine works and how to get the most out of it. So we're going to split you into two teams, and today's teams are Team 1, Ben, Helena, Jess Palmer, Rebecca and Charlie. And so that means Team 2 is Josiah, the other Jess, Florrie, Lucy and Toby. Okay, get into your teams and choose your team captains.
So, it's time for the arable technology experts amongst our apprentices to shine, as they decide amongst themselves who their team leaders will be. They will in turn be responsible for ensuring their teams are victorious, and today it's Ben and Toby stepping up to the mantle. For the first part of the task, they'll need to split their team into two groups. One group will be based in the office, using Bayer's field view technology to decipher satellite and drone images of the field to be harvested. The other stays in the field, flying the drone. In Toby's team, it's Josiah and Florrie who get the first look at the field view system. Going well, guys?
We're not 100% sure what we're looking at.
Right. Well, let's hope they figure it out quickly, because they'll be working against the clock to select the chosen areas of the field to harvest. In the event of a double booking, the fastest team get first dibs. But I'm sure it won't come to that.
One thing that surprised me was the way they've divided up this team. I would have thought that they would have had Toby, who had the most arable expertise, here in the cabin rather than down in the field with the drone. That's made it a bit harder for these two to sort of assess the data and make the best decision.
We were definitely both out of our comfort zones.
We kind of went in blind, but once we started getting the flow of it, it was very interesting to see how that technology would benefit a farm.
So the drone's going to fly to the pinpoints, take a picture and send it back to us. And we can have a look and hopefully make a good decision.
This is all a bit like, I've never seen anything like this before.
If you put on something like green band, what do you reckon?
I'm happy with that. I feel like we've got all of the high areas
It's only from one area, isn't it?
Hi Flora.
Hello. We've made our pins.
Yes.
So we've set 7 all in all.
That's brilliant. We'll have a go at that.
All right then.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, so it's been sent through.
Oh well. Cup of tea, anyone?
With the points selected, it's over to Jess, Lucy and Toby to get their drone up in the air with the help of the team from Drone Ag.
Ready? Ooh. Oh, this is so cool.
The drone will take photos of the chosen points of the field and send these back to Josiah and Florrie to take a closer look at.
Okay, so we've got all the photos now.
Hi Flora.
Hello, how are you doing with the images?
Yeah, good, thank you. We've been the drone's been out and we've covered the 7 points. There's a particular area which is dark green. That's probably an area to focus on.
Yeah, we'll have a look over here. Brilliant, thank you.
All right, Flora.
Thanks, bye. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask you this, like, Like what does a good crop look like?
Good question, Florrie. A little late for that now, though, maybe?
I mean, at this stage,
That looks quite dense compared to the
that
first
looks
picture,
more
doesn't it?
dense
Yeah.
than the previous point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I think that's what you're looking for,
So you
is
wanna go with
number
something
of
like that.
heads and
Sure.
not a lot.
Right. I'd say this is definitely our first choice then.
Yeah, let's go for that.
Back up,
I'd probably set it by the trees there.
this one.
Yeah.
It was a good task. Fairly confident.
Yes, I am actually. I think I'm happy with our decision. Just hopefully we got it in time so that we can have that bit of land as opposed to the other team.
Fingers crossed for you. But it does look like Ben and Charlie have got a slightly better idea of what they're looking for.
So perhaps if we initially sort of had a chat with them and sort of spoke about having a look down this section here.
Yeah, then I think maybe to the left of that, you know, the big space of
This
the
bit
neutral.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we did 2 in this area,
Yeah.
and then we did 2 in this vague
Yeah.
area,
And then two
perhaps 2 in
again
this.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're happy with that.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, good. What have you got?
So we've logged 6 pins onto the map.
Right, we can see your pins now.
Okay, no worries. We'll speak to you in a while. Any problems, give us a shout. All right, catch you in a bit.
Yeah, I've got a drone at home that I fly sometimes.
Kind of wish you maybe out in the field now?
Yeah, I tried to change the pan last minute, but wasn't allowed.
We should piped up earlier
Yes.
though, and when we were sort of going through skill sets and said something, but that's not the end of the world. I don't know about you, but I'm still very, very confident. So, fingers crossed.
How very diplomatic of you, Ben. But will the girls in the field miss Charlie's experience?
Oh, that's so cool.
Apparently not.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
We're good. We're just pinning the photos for your scout points now. You should be able to see them. Let us know what you think. We've been having talks about which ones that we think are good.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts?
Pins 1 and 2 and 4 we quite like the look of in terms of establishment and coverage.
Yeah, definitely. I think 1 and 2, 100%. They look fantastic from the sky. That's beautifully drawn.
Okay, so we've chosen our points.
Sorted?
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah.
Good.
Working with a drone was very interesting. I'd never worked with any sort of agri-tech before, so it was really cool. I was quite excited to be able to be part of this bit and work with it. Where we've chosen is quite sensible. It wasn't like random. We had a really good thought process as to picking it. We'll be good, I hope. I think we'll be all right.
I think everybody worked really, really well. We all came to a decision together, so I was really, really chuffed and really, really pleased that everybody was on the same page with the whole exercise.
Well, from what I saw in the cabin, I thought Ben was a very good team leader. He was clearly in control and making decisions, but he was listening to the team members, and I thought his management style was quite good. But of course, it all hangs on which bit of the field yields the biggest amount of crop. But I'd say, judged on the performance I've seen here, I would, if I had to put money on who's going to get the biggest yield, I would say Ben and Charlie.
No, Carl. Let's try and remain impartial, shall we? There's 10 grand at stake here.
Well done, apprentices. You've completed the first task of the day. Now, I have to say, you've both chosen the same part of the field. So we said at the beginning, if that was the case, the team that made their decision fastest would get their first choice. So I can tell you that by a factor of 20 seconds, the team that made the decision fastest was Team Ben. So Ben, your team gets their first choice. Toby, your team gets their second choice of land.
Well done, apprentices. The sun is shining here in Scotland, so we're going to give this Massey Ferguson combine a 10-hour service as quick as possible. We want to get the wheels rolling and some crop in the barn this afternoon.
I don't know about you, Charlie, but when the judges told us that we got ours by 20 seconds, it was like, oh, burn.
I was slightly disappointed, but then they haven't really won yet. They were just slightly faster than us, so I don't think we should lose all hope yet. No.
That's the spirit, Jessica. But it looks like Carl's money is safe with Team Ben for now, as the apprentices head over for the next part of the task.
Okay, apprentices, One of the biggest jobs you can do before you go into the field is your daily maintenance checks.
Before the combine heads out into the field, the teams will take it in turns to carry out a full service of maintenance checks in just 10 minutes. Both teams have been assigned a checklist to ensure that everything is in working order. But it seems that Team Ben are slow off the mark this time around. Clock's ticking, guys.
Okay, girls, I'm afraid time's up on the task, so we're going to have to stop you there.
There are a few things that we needed to do that we haven't done, but I am confident that we have had a good look at all of the important bits.
With the service successfully completed, at least for Toby's team, it's time to get this combine turning and see which team is going to be bringing home the bacon. I mean, barley. As they watch on, Field View will be able to give the apprentices a real-time picture of the combine's progress and see just how critical that 20-second gap will prove to be.
It's going to be really close again.
So as the yields are taken over to be weighed, the judges have a chance to discuss how the apprentices have performed both individually and as a team.
So, we've come to the end of a very long day. We were quite lucky with the weather in the end. Robert, how happy would you be with those teams working on your farm during harvest?
I would be happy for some of the team members to come and work here.
Would you like to name any stars, you say, over the whole day?
Ben, as a team leader, and Jess, the two Jesses, both of them have done very well, considering the lack of arable knowledge that they had.
So we started off with them getting the data into Field View and sort of analysing the data. How well did the two teams do on that bit of the task?
Well, I think it was quite interesting. So Ben's team put the arable expert in the cabin making the decision, whereas Toby's team had the arable expert in the field. And I think that really showed up at the beginning when they spent a long time deliberating and trying to choose which regions to pick.
And then we got them to do the checks on the combines. And one of them ran out of time.
Yeah, very interestingly, Ben's team ran out, but they went about it totally different than the other team. So instead of being the leader to try to split up the task, he wanted to teach everyone, which is good for their future and building up a bit more experience about the machines we have. Not so good in a timed one, and in the end they didn't get all the checks done in time, so they weren't ready to go combining.
But of course, what matters in the end is the scores on the doors, how much they got in the bin. So we'll find out in a minute who actually won.
Even with all of this technology on show, in the end it comes down to which team's yield has tipped the scales in their favour.
Okay, apprentices, first off, congratulations. Despite our concerns over the weather, you got all of the tasks done, and behind us is the barley that you harvested today. And I know that Robert's personally very delighted because you did pick the best areas of the field, that's good, but we got more than 8 tonnes per hectare today, so that's an excellent result. Robert and I, along with Richard and Max, have reviewed your performances, both individually and as teams, but we all know at the end of today, the winning team is the one that harvested the most grain. Before we give you the results, I just want to say that there will be a reward for the winning team and a forfeit for the losing team. So the winning team will have the luxury of having their bunker bins all to themselves tonight, because the losing team are going to be camping out under canvas tonight.
Oh, Carl, you cruel, cruel man.
Robert, what are the scores?
First of all, well done apprentices, you did a really good job. So Team Ben, they yielded 17.46 tonne your area, and Team Toby, you yielded 16.06 tonne. So the difference was 1.4 tonne a difference between the two plots. So well done, Team Ben.
So congratulations, Team Ben, you're the winners. You get your bunker bins tonight. Team Toby, get your tents ready, you're camping out tonight.
Really, really chuffed. Really, really chuffed. Yeah, really, really glad to have won the first task. It was really exciting. It was very, very close call. cracking team, couldn't have asked for better.
I'm quite excited to have won the first task. I knew it was quite close with the timing and everything, so I don't know, I feel really excited. I'm quite happy that we did.
Looking at that black sky there, I'm rather glad that we shan't be camping out tonight. I'm rather glad that we will be within our little cabins. So very, very pleased.
Yeah, disappointed. We tried our best. That's all you can do, I suppose.
It's not a very nice feeling, really. It would have been nice to win the first task, but plenty of time to win yet.
Yeah, I genuinely feel that everybody worked really well as a whole, and it's just unfortunate that the patch of the field and our 22nd time delay is the reason we are camping, but oh well, onwards and upwards.
So as the winning team head back to the warmth of their bunker bins, Toby's team begins setting up camp. But they're not best pleased with the provisions for the night ahead.
I'm not you guys reflecting that.
They've not given us a hammer.
Yeah, he looks tiny. You're going to be hugging each other.
Who bought these?
I actually say we do a sleeping bag race to see who gets to be on their own.
Oh, it's like a potato sack race, right?
Right, come on then.
3, 2, 1, hop!
No! I won! So that confirms it, I'm on my own.
Oh no, I'm on my own.
Nope, you lot. You won't let me go on my own.
I thought you won the race.
I did win the race, didn't I? Like, full on won it.
Tomorrow on Farmer's Apprentice.
So the apprentices would need to look for prime stock.
Whoa, lads, keep still.
Well, that's nice and warm.
Right guys, time up.